Okay. So last time the TA was here to take up the problem set. Unfortunately, I got no video of that, so that won't be posted. But we didn't cover any new material either, so hopefully that you won't mind about that too much. On the subject of the problem set, next class we'll have quiz number 1, and as I said in the first class, the way I work the quizzes is I take one of the questions off the problem set, and that appears verbatim on the quiz. So the TA went through the complete solutions last time, so hopefully that's no problem. You remember everything, and usually everybody does pretty well in the quiz. It's just sort of to make sure you're keeping up with the material. Once again, graduate students do not break the quiz. You can if you want to. I'll mark it, but it doesn't count for you. And what's going to happen is on Thursday we'll do a lecture for about the first 45 minutes, and then the rest of the class will be the quiz. So if you just want to show up for the quiz, show up at about 6:15. Any questions on that? Okay, second thing, the lab. I've posted lab number 1, and so there was supposed to be a lab period today from 11:30 to 1:30. Unfortunately, the TA was unavailable and couldn't make it. There will be another lab period 2 weeks from today at the same time, and that'll be 2 days before the lab is due. So hopefully you'll have a chance to sit down in the lab and talk to the TA. I recommended in the lab handout that you do it using MATLAB. You don't necessarily have to use MATLAB. It's possible to use basically the only functions of MATLAB that you'll need are plotting, and it also makes calculation easier. So if you've never used MATLAB and you're uncomfortable with MATLAB, you can use a spreadsheet program. Most spreadsheet programs you can generate pretty plots and whatnot. So the other point was someone asked, how do you get access to MATLAB from home? You do it this way. You use SSH, and you SSH into your Prism account. And for a lot of you, most of you have probably done this at one point in your school career. You SSH to red.cse.yorku.ca. And then once you get a command prompt, you type MATLAB. But MATLAB normally comes up with a graphical interface. That graphical interface, even if you have X forwarding on your SSH client, that graphical interface will probably be too intense to be usable. So you can do two things. First, you can try MATLAB-NoJVM. What that does is it brings up a MATLAB client without all the bells and whistles of the graphical user interface. But if you plot something, it will still display a plot window. So if you have X forwarding enabled, this is a pretty good option for you. Otherwise, if you have no X forwarding, MATLAB-no display gives you a pure text environment with no X window coming up. If you're in the CSE building, go to the Prism Lab. I'm pretty sure, I've never actually tried this, but I'm pretty sure that you all can gain access to MATLAB from any Prism computer. Somebody please try that and let me know if that's not true.
Did it last semester.
Did it? And it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Personally, I can't tell because it's possible that I, as an instructor, have my account set up to access MATLAB from wherever I am. But apparently this works, so let me know if anybody has any trouble. Any questions on that? Yeah.
Can we submit a lab report in groups? Or?
No. You can do the lab in groups if you want, but all lab submissions must be individual. Any other questions? Okay. So the lab is due on I think I said the 9th of April, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So today we're going to finish off our discussion of Rayleigh fading, and then we will get into a couple of other topics. So this week we're finishing off our discussion of the effect of physical layer impairments on wireless channels in mobile communications. And we're basically going to finish talking about Rayleigh fading. We're going to talk a bit about what happens when the antennas are in motion. In particular, the biggest problem there is Doppler. And we're going to talk a bit about. We're going to start talking about link budgets